So today I'm going to show you how to use the add-on Doctopus in Google Sheets. So you're going to start by creating a Google Sheets document, and this will be where you're going to add your class list or roster. So you may want to name the sheet your class name. Later on you're going to name each sheet by an assignment. So then you're going to go to add-ons and Doctopus. I already have it here, but you'll go to Get Add-ons. And then you'll see Doctopus here as an option. So you'll click on it and install it. Once it's installed, you'll go back to Add-ons, select Doctopus and launch. And then it will pop up on the right-hand side of the Google Sheet. Once it pops up, you're going to select the mode, which is to create a new roster from Google Drive. So you'll select roster. And once you do this, it will prompt you to create a new roster. You'll select build a new roster if it's the first time using the script. Then it's going to ask you for a method on this sheet, and then you'll press the orange Create Roster button. Once you do this, it's going to create headers for each of the cells, first name, last name, and email. It's really important that you don't modify the cells in black, that you simply just write the first name of the student, the last name of the student, and the email. For this, you're going to want to use the student's GEMS DAA email because it is the Google account associated with it, because we're going to be distributing Google documents. You press refresh. And at this point, it will allow you to name this roster. So you'll want to call it your class name. You'll only have to do this roster building process once because then it will save within the script. Then it's going to show you the folder structure. If you hover over each of the folder types or you scroll down, it will tell you what each folder does. And you're going to make sure that you check off Create Class Folders. Once you've done this, you simply press the orange Create and Share Folders button. Then Doctopus does the work, and it will create a folder in the student's shared drive for the class, for themselves, and for a individual view. It will also create a teacher folder and these other folders within your Google Drive as well. Then you'll click Save Roster and Continue. So remember that the folders have now been sent to the students and to yourself within your own Google Drive. This really aids in organization for both yourself and the students to be able to access documents. The next step is to choose the sharing settings on the document that you're going to be digitally photocopying. You can see here that the colors describe the different document sharing types. So there's individual, all the same is just your standard digital photocopying. So that's the option that I'm going to select. When you scroll down, it says whole class access level. So you don't want them to have any access. But you do want your own student who's receiving the document to be able to edit it, but you don't want them to change the sharing permissions. Scroll down and read through and press continue. Next, you need to choose where your template file exists. Now, if you haven't put a file in your teacher folder in your drive, you will not be able to select a document. So you need to go into your teacher folder in your Google Drive and create the document there first. So here I'm going to go into my 4MM class folder, and I'm going to open the teacher folder, and here's where I'm going to create my template file. So I'm going to make a new Google Doc, and I'm just going to call that the name of my project, or any name for it that you would like. So I'm just going to name it My Project Template. And then I'm just going to write your work goes here. Once I've done that, I hit refresh. And then I will be able to find the template file within that folder. Once I've selected it, I press Save and Continue. Now in this step, I can create a new folder for all of the assignments of the students. So if I wanted to call this literacy project on this day, for example, I could create a new folder that would house all of the student work for this specific assignment. Down below is what you want the individual student file to be named. So you can see here there are file keys. So for example, last name, first name, and then if I want it to be literacy project, you can see here I'm just changing the names to reflect that, and it will reflect in my Google Drive once the document is distributed. Once I've done this, I just press Create New Folder, and it will be created in my Teacher folder in Google Drive. I want to send sharing notifications to the students, and I press Save and Continue. Then you can check all of the settings are correct, and then you'll press the blue button that says Run, Copy, and Share, and this will distribute the document to the student. It should only take a couple of seconds, even if there are multiple students in the class. Then you can simply press the X to close Doctopus, and you can access the student document easily just by clicking on the link here, and it will take you to the student's work. Now when I want to create a new assignment in my Teacher folder, I simply create a new spreadsheet with this assignment name. So if I wanted to call it Numeracy Project or Numeracy Assignment, now this time it will go much faster because I've already created a roster. So I go in Add-ons, Doctopus Launch, and it will open up for me. It's important to note that you will need to create a new spreadsheet for every assignment. However, you will not need to create a new roster again. So the app will launch here, and you're going to go through the same steps. Select mode is you're going to choose roster mode. So distribute drive resources to a roster. But you're able this time to select the roster that you would like. So for instance, I've already created my 4MM roster, so I'm going to be doing this here. So a lot of the steps I'm able to skip the second time. On this page, you'll just press Next. So you'll repeat the process here. You select the sharing type of document, so individual, all the same. Go through the access levels again, and when you're finished, you press Save and Continue. In this step, you are selecting the location of the assignment. So in this one, I need to go again and I need to create my template before I do so within my Teacher folder. So I'm just going to call this one Numeracy Project or Math Project for the students. Once I do this and I go back into Doctopus, I see it's not there, and then this can be solved by pressing the refresh button. Once I refresh the page, then my template file should be available, and there it is, and it says Math Project. So I select it and I press Save and Continue. At this step, I can create a new folder for each of the student assignments for myself to help with organization. And then here, I'm also going to name the template file that will be sent to students. Or I can choose an existing folder to put the new assignment. So I'm going to create a new folder for this math project on this date, but I'm going to leave the name of the student assignment the same. From here, I'll press Save and Continue, and then my document will be distributed to the students. You can see in your Google Drive here, in my 4MM folder, I have my 2 spreadsheets of my assignments. And if I click on my folder for numeracy assignment, I see my student's document is here, as would all of the student documents should I have a larger roster, as well as my literacy assignment here, organized by the date in my 4MM Teacher folder. This is Doctopus.